Are you applying for 3D art jobs and as a result get a lot of 3D art tests? In this video, I want to have a talk how we at Mesh Masters do our art tests, why we give them, what we look for, to hopefully help you better understand what a good art test is and really why they are given to you. My name is Robert. I've been a 3D artist for 22 years already in the game space, but also in the creative media space and a little bit of advertising, all focused on real-time 3D art, so interactive 3D art. And the last 8, I've been running Mesh Masters, our art studio, where we do client projects, where recently this year we've been expanding into helping other 3D artists with our recently launched bootcamp, if you haven't seen it already. And soon we're also going to launch a couple of courses. One will be about how to get a job, so everything that's needed to get there, portfolio work, understanding your positioning, really to get to that point of getting hired. And the other one is really focused on freelancing, what it is, how to do it, how to do all the paperwork around it, how to find clients. So it's really more about the business of art. That said, let's jump into the art tests. So why do we do art tests? So a hard lesson I had to learn myself the last 8 years hiring people and artists is you might think that a portfolio would give you a good impression if somebody is good enough or has certain skills you seek, but often in reality, once you're in the production environment, deadlines, fire, explosions, not everybody is at the same level when it comes to functioning in that production environment. So they might have really great work, but can they also do that when there is like stress or deadlines or very specific technical needs? And to test or find out if somebody is sort of ready for that environment, the art test is really the only way to figure that out. So what do we specifically look for when we give an art test? So internally we have our ACE model, and it's the model we use to hire people, but also to train people internally. And ACE, the 3 letters, stands for 3 pillars that we hope to see in people. The A is the artistic skill, which really is about not necessarily the modeling skills, but it's really about the creative artistic skills. So can you design to an extent? Do you understand art directions? Do you understand art fundamentals? Do you understand how to design or build a piece so it conveys a certain emotion? Do you understand that emotional aspect of what we're doing? Are you able to guide the viewer's eye or the player, say, through an environment and really create something from scratch that is at a good, high artistic level? The C stands for collaboration and communication, which is really about the teamwork, being a professional. When you make promises, do you keep your promises? Do you deliver on time? Do you communicate on time and well? If things go wrong, do you know how to communicate and handle that as a team? Are you a team player? Do you know how to help other people in the team or understand the bigger picture of a production environment and the scope and the deadlines, and from there able to help the manager, the art director? So really that more professional skill set. And then the E is for engine integration, which, as the word says, has a lot to do with, are you able to take your 3D artwork and implement it correctly in an engine, Unity or Unreal, for example, to make sure that it's fully done, working, no issues, and when you give it to the next person, that they can continue the work without problems or without having to send it back. But it, of course, also has to do with working clean files, naming conventions, understanding hierarchy or rigging, for example. So really your job as a 3D artist and modeler is not only building the asset, but making it ready for the next step in the pipeline. So the ACE model is something we, like I said, we look for that and we train for that. And this is kind of what our art test is about, to figure out if those three, how well somebody is in that or good in that. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Let me share our current art test and why it's worded like this. And then we can jump a little bit into the nuances, right? So the art test itself is design and create a city vehicle in one day that solves the problem of an overcrowded city while accounting for the excess material possessions of its inhabitants, matching the population's cultural values of stoicism and wisdom. Present the vehicle as you think is best. So there's a lot going on here, right? So, okay, let's just go from beginning to end, right? Design and create a city vehicle in one day that solves a problem of an overcrowded city. So obviously design and create, so from scratch. We're not giving you concept art or something to model. No, it's from scratch. Design and create. So what we do here is to see if you're able to design something from scratch. Followed by in one day. So one day is super short, right? And we do that on purpose to see how well you can finish a task like this in a day, which is not necessarily realistic. And so you'll have to make choices of how you can get to that end result in one day. So it's kind of pushing you to make smart, creative choices. In the end, design and create doesn't necessarily mean a fully AAA vehicle. It's really about getting to that design aspect of the vehicle. So that one day is really the limit to kind of test you. Are you able to make those choices to get to a finished presentation in one day? So yeah, in one day that solves the problem of an overcrowded city. So this is the first hint in that design process. So the car, the vehicle, whatever it is, needs to function in an overcrowded city. So it's very busy. So what does that mean from a design standpoint? Well, accounting for the excess material possessions of its inhabitants. Okay, so we know it's an overcrowded city. Way too many people, busy streets, but everybody has way too much stuff. So this vehicle needs to account for both, which again comes back to, are you able to understand that and design something within those parameters? Match the population's cultural value of stoicism and wisdom. Okay, so we have more information, right? Overcrowded, too much stuff that everybody has, but they are stoic and wise people. So again, an element to add in your design of the vehicle. And then present the vehicle as you think best. In other words, it's up to you. We want you to design and create a vehicle within those parameters we just talked about, and you just present it as you think is best to convey what you think is the solution here, or the best vehicle. And we say this specifically to kind of see how you will present it. So are you just going to model something and then black background, send it over, dump, complete? Or are you going to put in the effort to really present it so it conveys exactly as you need and it ends up being a professional piece? So this is also a little bit that C of how professional are you? So like I said, why exactly do we do this? The tight time limit, talked about it before, to really force you into making smart choices to reach the deadline and then see if you're able to get to that deadline. It's a vague, open-ended brief, obviously, again, to challenge you to see how well you can design something from scratch without holding your hands. And the last point is that freedom to present, to again see how well you will get to the end result within the time limit, and to check if the end presentation is good, professional, and finished, or if maybe you were like rushing it, you didn't plan it well, And so at the end, we'll see that's kind of like a rush job. So yeah, that presentation is kind of like the finishing touch, the polish. So yeah, that's the art test, or some variation of it that we give, again, to test the ACE model. So what does this mean for you when you get art tests? And it's not really only about art tests, but if you're just doing work in general, yes, you need to be good at modeling. Yes, you need to have like clean UVs, topology, great textures, all this and that. And for some studios, especially big studios, that's probably all you need, because they need a dedicated 3D modeler. But if you want to be more like a 3D artist that understands art and design, make sure you also work on those 3 pillars. So the A, again, artistic skill, practice design, practice designing, understand emotions, what it means to be creative. The C, don't forget to work on how professional you are, learn how to do time estimations, like time yourself in your work. Even if it's your hobby work, just time yourself. Like how long does it take to do UVs? How long does it take to do the high poly? How long does it take to do engine integration? How long does it take to do polish? Or set deadlines for yourself and hold yourself to the deadlines. Be a professional. And engine integration, is everything clean? Do you do naming conventions? Do you understand why we do them? Do you have your files and folder structures clean? And get your work in game engines. The game engine is the final place where your work lives, not your 3D modeling package. So get stuff into Unity or Unreal and Godot, and if you're really up for it, get it playable. If you have a scene, make sure you can walk through it. If it's a character, get it animated. If it's a gun, make it shoot. Learn shaders to an extent. Understand when you import files what all these settings are and how the technical side of art works. So focus on those 3 pillars, and really you're going to boost yourself up as a great 3D artist that knows how to handle himself, and that people and studios will be happy to have hired. Hope that helps. Big topic, I guess. As always, if you have more questions, you're free to reach out. If you're interested in our new coaching pillar and learning pillar, make sure you head over to our website or reach out to me on LinkedIn. The bootcamp is live. We're going to start a group in a couple of weeks, actually, so that's great. So if you're interested, have a look, reach out, have a talk, and good luck on your journey.